Will, thank you so much for coming out. Welcome everybody to Raise the Grade podcast, put on by Rising Tide Landscapes. Second episode, so work with us through the jitters here. But I've got Will with us today from Universal White Cement. Welcome.
How you guys doing?
Thank you so much for coming through. The first thing I ask everybody is just kind of an icebreaker. Who's Will? Tell me a little about yourself first before we kind of break into the business side of things.
Well, I'll give you some because it'd take way too long.
Yeah, for sure. We have limited
so
time.
I'm born and raised here in Arizona. I lived in Arkansas for like 6 months, and then was back here. My mom was like, "No, I'm not having it. I'm not having it." I've been in construction for a long time. I actually started I started in the restaurant business.
Okay.
When I was 15.
Okay.
Started as
Washing
a dishwasher.
dishes?
Started
Let's
as
go.
a dishwasher 2 weeks.
Dishwasher
Boom,
crew.
moving into doing the waiter thing and everything like that. So I mean, I've done all kinds of things.
How'd you get into construction?
I got into the maintenance business. I loved working with my hands.
Okay.
I've actually almost got my associates in business.
Okay.
But I don't like to be inside all the time. I like to be outside, as you can see.
I know this.
I'm always
see this.
I'm always out in the yard and everything like that. I work here, and I work mainly in Texas as well.
Okay.
But I love to put shit together.
I love it. Now, who do you work for right now?
Universal White Cement. Been with them for 10 years.
Okay. Wow.
10 years in December.
That's a long time to be at one shop. What's kept you there? Tell me a little bit about the company and maybe that side of things, and then break into what you guys do for products and such.
They're a family-owned business. It's great. The father, 2 sons run the business.
Awesome.
They actually have their daughter that works there as well.
Okay.
She's a travertine sales girl.
Okay.
They hired me on initially to build some equipment in the back for unloading rail cars. And that's what I did. It took me about probably close to a year.
Okay.
And when I was done with the project, I asked them what they wanted to do with me. I thought I was going to move on to something else. And they're like, "No, we want to keep you on, run the maintenance crew and everything like that." And they actually found out that I used to install travertine.
Okay.
They wanted to expand out into the backyard.
Okay.
Full one-stop shop.
Because their baseline when you got on was pool products?
Just Pebble.
Just Pebble.
So interior finish, they're well known for it across the United States.
Okay.
Competitors are obviously, like Pebble Tech, that kind of thing. Major interior.
Okay.
But we set the standards on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they wanted to expand out into the backyard because the plaster guys actually, that's their, if they don't have a pool to plaster, they're redoing pools. That's what those guys have learned to do other things. And once they found out that I knew how to do that, they opened me up to another department.
Yeah, when I was out there, it was fascinating because putting together what you do. So like you take raw materials off the rail car, and then like you got really smart with a bunch of robotics and conveyors and mechanical stuff, and you're creating products to ship out across the country, right? It's not just hey, we're unloading pallets off a rail car.
No, I mean, we're literally shipping, especially when it comes to stone, all over the United States. Canada, I mean, it's all over the place. And we're bringing it in. We have the companies that load the material, they sift it and everything like that. But when we come back through, we do more quality control.
Okay.
We're shaking it out. We're making sure everything's clean and everything like that. And we're packaging it and sending it all over the United States.
Wow.
As far as New York, Hawaii even.
Wow. Yeah, it was so fun for me. Right when I got out on my own, one of the things I wanted to do was go and meet the people that I've talked to over the phone in the valley here for so long. And you were top of list. You did not disappoint because when I came through there, I thought, oh, cool. It's a travertine shop. Travertine was an afterthought, and so that was what was crazy for me is you have basically this huge factory there. So, one of the things I want to kind of dive into a little bit that I think you touched on. So family business, we were talking about boots. I like your boots. And what are some of the things, because I want to learn too, being a new business owner, what are some of the things you might advise me or other young startups to do to find the right employee and maybe retain the right employee?
I can tell you this. That is absolutely a hard question to
I
do
get it.
because I work with employees here and other states.
Mm-hmm.
Each individual is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to cater to what makes them happy, I
Sure.
guess. I mean, to keep the longevity
I
employees.
think so.
I mean, as far as pulling people in, it's
Mhm.
like pick and choose.
Yeah.
I can look at a guy and talk to a person. It's off the get go and like,
Mhm.
okay, I like what you have
Mhm.
to say.
Mhm.
Let's work from there and we'll
Mhm.
see. But sometimes you have to push a little bit more.
Mhm.
Sometimes I've noticed, like you can't just okay, here, this is your job. It's like, hey, dude, you can do this better. You can make more money
Mhm.
doing this, and that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because with our company, we incentivize our employees with bonus.
Okay.
The
Are you
more
guys
you
like
work,
a little bit
like
like
with the
mhm.
bagging department.
Mhm.
Um, if you guys make this many pallets, you'll make this much more money.
Mhm.
That kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's just incentivizing as much as you can.
Love that.
But I mean, it depends on where you're at with what you can do with that kind of thing. But everybody is completely different. As far as in finding employees, it's hard to do.
Yeah, no,
You'll
I
go through
that much
20,
I'm
30. I
figuring
mean,
out.
I'm sure, especially with you, because
Mhm.
you're a little bit more intensive labor.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, no,
So
it's difficult. And so that's why I'm asking a lot of folks, I think you had made a comment about, you guys even, you'll give you guys some money for boots. And, I mean, you're making sure they're taken care of. One of my mottos is it is happy employees make happy customers, makes a happy owner. Would you change anything up about that? Or you think that's pretty accurate?
no, it's accurate. I mean, it's the same thing. Like every employee that we have
Mm-hmm.
on their birthday, get an extra $100.
I love
There you
it.
go. Happy birthday. We incentivize same thing with like what you said with boots. We give,
Mm-hmm.
bring in your receipt. We'll give you an
Mm-hmm.
extra $60 towards your boots,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
I love that
So,
kind of stuff.
we have safety meetings pretty much once a month.
Mm-hmm.
I get pizza, soda for the guys, that kind of thing. But I mean, that's different with me because bigger.
Sure.
I have
You're
to.
in house, you're
Yeah.
one place, I got guys all over the place.
But stuff like that, I mean,
Mhm.
even if you brought, I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
you jump in, hey guys, I brought some pizza. You guys hungry?
Mhm.
That kind of thing for lunch.
Mhm.
They're gonna be like, oh, okay,
I'm with it.
this guy appreciates it.
I'm with it.
That I mean, it's hard to do, but that's if you can get to a certain guys kind of appreciate some guys, not all,
Mhm.
appreciate the small things.
Yeah, and then leave them alone. Let them eat their lunch. Don't
Yeah.
be in their ear talking
Yeah.
about, hey, while I'm here, we should this, that, and the
No,
other,
no, and that for
Mhm.
especially in your field, for
Mhm.
sure. Hey guys, just want to let you know I brought you some pizza, some sodas and stuff like that. That kind of thing goes a long way. I'll be honest with you, and I've done it with a few different people. At the end of the day, hey guys, come through with an ice chest full of ice cold beer.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm just,
Never
you know what I
seen
mean?
that in my life.
But that's the kind of, and they remember that,
Yeah,
and they
for sure.
appreciate that.
For
It's
sure.
sometimes, a lot of times, it's the little things that make,
Mhm.
and they will remember it.
Feeling noticed, I think, even
Appreciated.
appreciated and valued are really important things. What are some other offerings? Changing gears on you a little bit here. So, what are some other offerings? I want to just kind of dive into your company a little bit more and just kind of help build you up. What are some ways that I could help do that? And if somebody happens to stumble across this channel and happens to come through and they're made it this far, what would you want them to know about Universal White Cement?
We strive for just growing, to be honest with you.
Okay.
One of the things I love about this company is they appreciate every single employee. If you go up to them and say, hey, can I borrow $1,000? First thing they're gonna say is, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll lend you $1,000, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's they appreciate the employees and the money that they put back into the company.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for me, I spend a lot of money at this company because
Mhm.
of the growth that I do
Mm-hmm.
with opening up more plants, because
Mhm.
they want to see everybody grow. Everybody that stays, That's what they want. They want a better life for everybody, giving them more money, just everything going up and up and up for everybody. They look out for everybody else. You go to that yard, they're driving just regular Toyota Tacomas. Nobody's driving anything fancy. These guys are they're invested with the company and the employees. And that right there, I'll be honest with you, I've never been in a company for 10 years. Most companies I jump from because it's like, you tell me you're going to do this, this, and this. Yeah. These guys actually took me out of the field. Wow. And I'm more and less just running things for them, and that
speaks volumes because I've been around a lot of guys in construction, sold to contractors, been in the field. You're definitely a field guy. So to know that they were able to kind of like, cage the bird, so to speak, it speaks volumes right there. What about products? What about other contractors that might be watching this going, okay, wait, I haven't even heard of Universal White Cement. Who are these guys?
You'll never get a better product. It's the same thing with the travertine. I pay for a premium product because I don't want any problems. You get a lot of these guys at a travertine. You can get cheap stuff. Sure, you can get if you want that. It comes back to the installer because I know I used to install. So nothing makes me more mad than having to put down a 6x6 and have to pick it back up because it's short on the gauging. You got to put more sand down. It messes up your rhythm.
Well, and then, if somebody's not taking the time to do that and you've went and set base grade, you got a lot more work to do. It's going to cost me money anyways.
Exactly. So that's why I do the same thing. So I'm actually same thing with it comes to the quality control on the pebble, cleaning screens every day. You're not going to have the extra fines to where the material is going to sag down the wall. That kind of stuff. That's what we pay attention to all of it. That's the thing with us. We manufacture and produce everything ourselves. Besides the travertine.
Yeah, for sure.
But when it comes to the pebble, it's all in-house. We don't outsource for anything.
I know this. I just bought some pallets of concrete from you and I was beside myself because I was like, oh, you got that?
Oh, it's the same thing. Like white cement, you can't even granted, we're probably, I think, $2 more a bag. But you can't mess with our cement because we add polymers to strengthen everything. That's what makes our pools last so much longer.
I love it.
Pebble is pebble. Let's be honest with you. It's just a matter of how much you screen it out, how much you clean it, how much you make it good for the customer. But when it comes down to the base cement, that's what makes the difference. And we actually manufacture and produce our own.
So somebody wants to come out, like, do you want people to come out to the yard and see you, just get a hold of you through your website, call you? What's the best way to get a hold of you guys to start that relationship? Is it reaching out to you or Pops or Randy, or what's the program look like?
Randy, so I try to keep, I love Randy to death.
I know you do.
Soon to be to be honest with you, soon to be my father-in-law.
Yes.
That guy's worked. I try to make it to where he doesn't have to come into the office.
That's awesome.
Just call the office. If you have problems with anything else, you can't get a hold of anybody, always call me because I always answer my phone.
For sure. No, I appreciate that. Talking about raising the grade, whether it be in the pool industry or a little bit more in the landscape side of things for me, what are some tips or tricks that you can offer up, or maybe opinions you might have about the way things might be done a little bit different? I know some other guests I've had on, they tend to have I don't know what you might call it, a bone to pick, so to speak. Is there anything that you can see? You've installed travertine. What would you like to see done better? Or is a big thing people forget maybe? Go off on one of those tangents.
Customer service.
Ooh, wow. What a concept.
Customer service.
Okay.
That's how you get word of mouth. Honestly. And I guarantee you can't come to a better place. Same thing. I've strived on that with Universal. Like if you come in and you're getting material picked up, you're not waiting. Your guys are in signing a ticket. They're getting loaded up at the same time. You go anywhere else in this valley,
you can forget it.
It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Guys are going and grabbing lunch and they're coming back. It's customer service. I've had people just in the same industry as you. Dude, I screwed up. I ordered 4x4. I needed 6x6 tile. I
Mm-hmm.
got you. I'll have it
Mm-hmm.
brought out to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's customer service.
Yeah.
And it works that way. I believe me, I've dealt with homeowners. I
Mm-hmm.
know it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, but you kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
But the word of mouth is always because I'm going to talk to this neighbor, that
Mm-hmm.
neighbor, and that's how it falls.
I hope you're right. That is what I'm building my business on is handshakes and phone calls instead of
Handshakes. Not the fist bump, the handshake.
Actually, right? Instead of text messages and I mean, I'd be silly if I wasn't advertising online, but at the end of the day, my goal is really to be a word of mouth contractor. So I would second your opinion there. How about install wise? Any thoughts there about anything
Guys,
you
just pay
see?
attention.
Okay.
Usually for me, and that's why everybody loved me. Especially I used to do a lot of veneer
Mhm.
stone stuff where
Mhm.
I used to get paid really good money because
Mhm.
I paid attention to where I put everything.
Mhm.
You know,
You guys have Stackstone too. I think that's something
I
not
do
everybody would
split
know.
face. Yeah, I do have
Yeah.
split face and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I carry bag products to help out with
Mhm.
the landscapers with Portland, polymeric,
Do
mortar,
you offer it by the bag or by the pallet?
by the bag.
Awesome.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
guys come into me all the time like, how much is your bag of Portland?
Yeah.
$17.75. Wow, that's cheaper than Home Depot.
Well,
I'm
what
not
are you-
trying to kill. We're
what
not
are you
trying to
gonna
kill
do?
anybody.
Yeah.
We're just getting by.
No, I love it. I love it. I was shocked and happy. It was a good find. So tell me more, if you don't mind, about the kind of how long's the company been around? Like what little more company
1995.
history? 95. So 05, 15, 25. So you're coming up on a 30-year anniversary.
Yes, but not at this facility. At
Okay.
this facility, I want to say it was somewhere around 2000. I'm not sure exactly where, but he got that somewhere around the 2000. But he's been in business,
Mm-hmm.
and he started with just the white cement, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's gone from the pebble
Mm-hmm.
to the pre-blends, which have put us on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that knows
Mhm.
micro fusion or radiant fusion knows us.
Mhm.
You know, we're the ones that branded that micro.
That's cool. No, I love it. I would like to come out at some point if you're cool with it and maybe do a little collaboration on site to just kind of show off the coolness you've put together.
Oh, it's
I
the
love the
magnitude. It's the
facility.
magnitude. I'm
Yeah.
shoving things in where I've got limited room to work with. So, but
Mhm.
I'm like, I'll put this here, put this here.
Mm-hmm.
Texas has been my wide open spot. I'm getting ready to start the blending out there as well. So
New build out in Texas. So are you building out there right
we
now?
bought 4 years ago, actually, when COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
They asked if we could. He's like, hey, you want to come down and check this place out?
Mm-hmm.
We want to open up a pebble market out in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out there and I looked, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this, this, and this. And he goes, okay. So they bought the facility.
Fantastic.
And then we've been bagging pebble out there, servicing Dallas, Fort
Mhm.
Worth, big chunk
A
of,
lot of pools out there,
yeah,
right?
all that way. Oklahoma, Arkansas, I mean, any of those
Mhm.
spots, but that's what we've been doing. Now we're getting into the pre-blends.
I love it. I love it. Do you see anything? Can you let anything spill? Is there anything on the cusp? Because it sounds like he's constantly kind of adding something to the mix. Is there anything you want to get into? Maybe like a next step, perhaps for you
well,
guys.
we've discussed doing. These guys have put me in with courses on doing thin sets, grouts, polymeric sands, and
Wow.
stuff like that. So
Okay, so
I've actually gone
in-housing
through the
a little bit of
classes.
that.
Yeah, I've actually gone through the classes for that. We've worked on that. That's why I'm telling you, these guys are looking to do everything they can to expand,
to grow.
Yeah.
What I love about talking to you is you're the epitome of learned experience and in the field learning and continuing to learn. You're not, oh, I got to go back to school. No, you're just taking classes, learning, and then applying.
Oh, I'm actually, and that's the thing. That's why contractors love me so much, is because I've been in. No, you're not. No, why are you charging me this because it's this big? It's that kind of thing, and that's what I think these guys appreciate. I look at the bottom dollar. You guys know I'm not doing that. No, that's not correct. And they know that.
Yeah.
So, and that's what they appreciate. The hardest thing for me, to be honest with you, has just been, and it hasn't been that hard, but I mean, the transition was to going to office work,
Mm-hmm.
doing paperwork, being
Are
on
you
the
doing
computer.
paperwork?
I'm not
Are you doing it?
I do. I
Oh,
do.
why?
I'm on because it's my job.
Oh no. I'm
Because
reading a book right now, and I'm not through it yet. I'm chapter 4 or something, but it's Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And it's not insane. It's not genius talk, but it's real talk, and it's about, look, you should be doing will things, in other words. And I'm guessing paperwork's not one of them. So it's kind of like, delegate, figure out a way to get somebody else doing that. And I'm not telling you what to do. But when your mind starts going there, you're like, yeah, I probably should be learning about a polymer instead of filling out an invoice.
but I love to learn new stuff.
Fair enough.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I
I'm
get
willing
you.
to. It's been. I mean, I've done pretty good with it. I think.
Okay.
I haven't had anybody complain, but I love to learn everything I can learn.
I love it.
Is what I mean. That's what makes. I mean, in order for anybody to be honest with you to make money, I mean, you're not
Mhm.
gonna if you're set on one certain thing. I mean, now you got to
Nope.
open your to the full picture.
And I think it breeds happiness, right?
Oh,
Learning.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm happy when I'm working. I'll
Mhm.
be honest with you.
Isn't that crazy? I think we're from a different generation there to
It's
some
a dying
degree.
breed.
To
It's a
some
dying breed.
degree. Yeah. What's something maybe would surprise people about you? That is maybe, I don't know, do you play croquet or something? Like, is there anything that's like,
Actually, the only sport I've ever played is golf, and I'm
okay,
self-taught.
okay,
In fact, I was just playing. So I live in Moon Valley.
okay.
I
Love it
just
out
signed
there.
up for their country club, and
Cool.
I played their 18
Wow. Let's
over the
go.
weekend, and it's been like 4 years.
I'm ready. Let's
Same
go
thing.
golfing.
Hunting. I used to hunt.
Okay.
I haven't been hunting in probably 4 or 5 years because I've
Okay.
been so dedicated with work.
I love that.
That kind of thing. I love hiking. That kind of thing.
Have you done Camelback?
Hmm?
Have you done Camelback?
No, I haven't.
I have not tackled it yet.
For
I'm a
me,
scaredy cat.
and Randy Lynn, we like to head up north.
Okay.
I want the trees.
Oh yeah,
I love the tree. I
Flagstaffy,
do because I'm born
Payson.
I'm
Yeah.
born and raised in the desert. I love to get up north, and me and her, we've been hiking all over the place. It's the same thing. Whenever we go on vacation, we try to hike anywhere where there's nice green.
I love it. It's fantastic up north. It's shocking how much beauty's in Arizona that maybe gets
2 hours
overlooked. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, coming from Oregon where it's lush green everywhere, there's a lot of seasons where you're driving around and like everything's in bloom and it's gorgeous. All the red agave, everything's on point. Okay, so we've talked through who is Will, who's Universal Cement, how long they've been around, what their product offerings are. I think we covered pretty well some good advice for people, new business owners. I've been in business for my whole life, but what are some questions you maybe have for me or advice or anything? Talk to me. Your turn. We're giving the mic over to you.
All right. So I go
Careful,
through this.
Go easy.
I go through.
Oh, no.
I go through this with other companies.
Okay.
Your salespeople.
Okay.
Make sure they're trained on what they're measuring.
I would agree. Critical.
Linear footage.
Yes.
Square footage. The difference.
Hired my sales guy today, and I've worked with them for about the past 3 years. We've kind of
the difference between 4x4 tile, 6x6 tile. There's 2 pieces to a 6x12 to a square foot.
Yep.
That's one thing that me and Randy Lynn do go through. We deal with a lot of different pool companies, and that they hire new sales people.
Yes, sir.
And there's a few times that I've had to send her, "Hey, do me a favor because I'm tired."
We've done it. We've gone out there too many times.
Don't get me wrong.
I know.
I'll go out with and help out with anything, but sometimes it's like I've got a lot to do, and it's. But that's the only thing is just
buy back your time. Yeah.
Make sure that your people know what they're ordering, because there's a lot of mix-ups that comes along with that. Because if you send me an order to goes out for delivery, I'm going to send out what you tell me.
I know this,
and that's the way that it goes out. And then if there's like, well, I ordered this, I'm like, okay, I know what you ordered, so I broke it down into square footage, and this is what you're getting. Oh. No,
I love it. You guys are always asking, okay, is that pieces? Is that lineal feet? Is that square feet?
Yes.
So I'll get better about labeling my orders too. So I think you're onto something there, and I think I could go big picture on that and just say systems. Make sure you've got systems in place and everybody's following them, right? I mean, you
Check and
strike me.
recheck. So
Okay.
there's that's another thing that we are pretty good about is, we do the orders, but there's somebody else that checks something, to make sure.
Are you spot checking loads before they go out, or just kind of?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I used to be a load builder, and that was a lot of fun building lumber loads for houses. But yeah, we would always have somebody else check our loads. So I totally understand that and respect that. What else? What else you got? You're up, Mr. Mike Man.
That's about it. I mean, it's just I'll be honest with you. Good luck on finding people.
Okay.
That's going to be the hard thing. And I read a lot of reports, and that's the biggest, and that's the hardest thing. I got lucky with the people that I got in Texas. Like I got a plant manager to where I don't have to be there all the time.
Yeah, that's a huge find.
Oh, he worked for a nuclear plant. He's like, I don't want to be out there. He travels 45 minutes.
Fantastic.
And he loves it. Put him on salary.
Yep.
Great worker. Knows how to weld, do minor things and everything like that. Awesome.
Done.
But that's the hardest thing, is just finding people you can trust and people that will work. I mean, because it gets to be expensive to babysit.
Yeah.
For me to sit and have to watch people, or Eric or anybody else, even the owners, to sit and have to watch people to make sure they're working.
Yeah.
That's what gets hard. I mean, just making sure you get people you can trust.
I think that's pretty critical.
It's hard.
I think that's pretty critical. Any trends you see in the industry or anything like that?
Well, we're dealing with the slow, obviously.
Yep.
Everybody's feeling the pinch. Only people I see spending money right now are people in Scottsdale, Buckeye, some in Queen Creek. It's just that's why I tell you that the word of mouth, because that's what everybody's
agree.
Like, hey, this guy did a great job. He had a good price. They cleaned up. That's the thing. A lot of people pay attention to
cleanup is big. Actually,
cleanup is big. But you showing up when you say you're going to show up, you doing what you're telling them, that you communicate and that you clean up on it.
And even not only that, not that you do show up, but that you let them know you're showing up. So many times it's like, oh, I didn't know you were coming today. I've heard, and it's like it's communication 101. So I appreciate that. What do you have to say about, I don't know, just maybe break off into a little bit of a riff on maybe other products, or give me some, how about this? Give me something you've learned about travertine where you're like, wow, I didn't know that. Or like, something to be mindful of. Any stats on travertine that might surprise anybody listening?
I'll be honestly, the biggest thing is going to be quality and price.
Okay.
Everybody's like, well, this guy's cheaper. Oh, I get it. He's cheaper. But that quality, the quality is always
graded. Is there grades?
Yeah, no, you can buy it in grades.
Okay.
You can buy it in grades. I believe there's 3 grades.
Okay, cool.
You can get the low, commercial, and then you can get the premium.
Okay.
Premium is always going to be the best.
Sure.
Mexican products is what I've honestly pushed for years.
Okay.
Those guys
have good luck.
Great.
Okay.
Great on just quality and just communication. But it's been awesome. That's the thing you have to pay attention to the most. You get what you pay for, as you know.
I think so.
Everybody's trying to cut corners right now, but don't cut those corners.
There's another life lesson that'll come back and bite you.
That's your backyard. You have to live with that for the rest of your life. You want to be happy. That one thing that I love when I walk out in my backyard is that I'm so happy every time, except when I see the leaves on the in the pool. You know what I mean?
I love that.
That's one of the biggest things is these. I've had homeowners ask me, well, what do you think? I'm like, well, what do you like? Why I like this, and this. I'm like, well, you're the one that comes out here every day to look at this.
Bro,
You have to be happy with it.
I just had that today, and I'm so glad. What really makes me happy is when someone's just willing to have a conversation, because sometimes I've had it both ways, but sometimes you'll get somebody and you'll kind of present them a design of how you kind of heard them, and then saying, hey, here's a 3D representation of that. And they're like, okay, thanks, and then they're off to the next without giving you a chance. They're like, wait, I thought we talked about this. And it's like, oh, I heard and meant this, so I think going back and forth on the communication side beforehand is huge. But I love when somebody's just willing to have a conversation. And to your point, it's what they want. I get that sometimes you see something, you see a really nice car drive by. Well, yeah, you didn't design it, but you sure like the clean, sharp lines or the really curvy lines of that vehicle. Backyards are the same way.
Yeah. You always have to remember, hey, this material does not bend. You know what I mean? It doesn't bend.
Is there any cool applications you could share with me that maybe I or anybody listening could try with travertine or anything like that? I mean, because
so I just had
I was curious.
You say that, and I dealt with a guy in Texas I think it was last year actually. Overlays. Overlays are the easiest thing.
Oh, I got a question for you there.
I loved overlays because it's just a light shade of sand, depending on, you never know what the guy did before you, obviously, whether the drainage is right or anything like that. But it's slam and go because you have the best base already. You already have concrete. The only thing you have to make sure is that you have the right. I had a guy
the concrete.
How much thin set
Yeah.
do I need? I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I said, well, it's just on the edges. So how far is the edges? He's like, oh, it's 5 feet on one side, 5 feet on the other side. I'm like, oh, you need like maybe a bag or two. That's it. He goes, that's it? He goes, I don't need a pallet. I'm like, no, you don't need the thin set, the whole thing. It's a light shade of sand just to make sure that you got your level. That's all that's needed. It's blow and go, bud.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's funny. I actually, I got into a scenario where a lead was given to me and it was for a tile overlay. And we proposed a sand overlay. And somebody else came in and said that they were going to thin set the whole thing, and that made the lady more comfortable. And my argument was just, well,
it's not necessary.
I don't think it's necessary. And if that concrete ever does move a little bit, guess what? You're cracking tiles.
How long has the concrete already been down?
Also, great question.
You know what I mean?
No.
I mean,
this had already started to move too, so I was kind of nervous about that. We were going to jackhammer out a piece anyways.
Thing you do is 1/2 inch of sand. I recommend
what we were going to do.
Never recommend over 1/2 inch of sand because it's just going to be too much movement.
Yep, I agree.
1/2 inch of sand is great.
Yep.
Same thing that you would do. And that's all you would need. You already have the best base.
Yep.
The thin set is a waste of time.
I thought it was
because
kind of
then you're
risky
because you're going to have to grout. You're going to have to grout everything.
Yep.
And then you're going to have the cracks when that concrete moves.
Would you go ahead?
When you do it with the sand, you're not going to see any movement. You're never
until it's crazy, and then we know we got a problem anyways. But then you can still peel up the tiles, and jackhammer some out, and put them back, and you're good to go. Would you you'd polymeric that installation, I presume, or not
afterwards?
Yeah.
I recommend it. You have to be careful on the polymeric because everybody, and I have this discussion with everybody. Do you have a white polymeric? No, I don't carry a white polymeric.
Exactly. I've asked for it before.
We're in Arizona. We have dust storms all the time.
Yeah, guilty.
So that white polymeric will last maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
And it's right to tan.
Yep.
You're wasting money.
Yep.
Stop.
I love it. That's a great insight right there. I mean, I think there should just be tan here because white's about pointless.
I mean, unless you get into the grays or anything like that.
Do have a gray, actually, yeah. Yeah,
then you go with the silver.
I like the silver with your
But
Marbella.
otherwise, same thing with Noche. I do the mocha because it's darker to match with it.
Anything darker, yeah, but white is
never going to last. It's a waste of money. Anybody that sells that to you, it's the same thing with sealing. I don't agree with it in Arizona. Yeah. I've argued with sealing guys all over the United States at shows.
I can't make a case. Maybe I'll have a good sealer on here one day that just changes my mind. But I'm with you 1,000,000% because I think you just introduce an upkeep that's going to be continual.
Oh yeah, 2 to 3 years. I mean, especially with the seal
and patchy, and it's going to really depend. It's going to have to get applied really well, and even if it is, you're going to have some spots that are shady. They're not getting the same amount of sun. You're fighting that battle, I think, for the longevity of the project instead of just, hey, It's Arizona. We're going to get some sun
Deal with the
fade.
natural.
Deal with it. Let it be natural.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Always in Arizona. And I've argued
Good
with
point.
ceiling guys about it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever tested it in Arizona?
It's their
No.
whole business. Like,
I
let's
know,
be
I know.
honest.
I
Like,
get it.
it's
I get
literally
It's a money grab.
it's all they do. Sorry, ceiling guys. I don't know. I just definitely want to learn a little bit more there about, that whole idea. What else? What about so you've been an installer for before. What would you say about proper base for travertine? I know some people are putting travertine just right over quarter minus. Now,
Okay, so I mean it depends. Like you've had the Belgard guide on.
might
So
have.
that's not part of that. If to be a Belgard installer,
Yep.
that's not correct.
I know. Gone
So
down this
it's
road.
the same thing. So quarter minus is
Yep.
dirt.
Yep.
If you do travertine
Mm-hmm.
and that gets wet, it can leach through.
Because the travertine's so porous. Right. So you have to have, even if you're gonna do,
if
even
you
if
want
you're
to do
gonna
it correctly, you do the 3/4 inch along with the sand.
Yep.
That's
so
correct.
an ABC base, and then a 1/2 inch sand.
I always try to keep the less amount the better. Less
Really?
movement.
Okay. I get it. I'm with you. And then polymeric over the top.
Yeah, I always have. There's some people
like it. Yeah.
They're scared of using polymeric because if you're not using it correctly, you can turn the pavers different colors.
Or you can have yourself a big mess
Yes.
on top as well. Actually, my friend has contacted me. So the next paver job that I get, I'm actually gonna polymeric the pavers as part of a promo, a learning experience to see, because just truthfully, I've been in a lot of backyards. Nobody polymerics pavers.
I know. Well, a lot of people are worried about discoloration.
Well, there's discoloration and also just the work that goes into it, because you've got to get it just in the cracks and not everywhere else, and then you're going to hose it down. And
just remember, one bag will do about anywhere from 350 to 450 square feet. It just makes sure you get that dust off.
Yep.
I mean, it's a little bit tedious, but it works. But at the same time, it only lasts for so long. It's not concrete. Everybody has to understand you can't pressure wash that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be washing that stuff out.
Can't pressure wash anything. Yeah. No, I agree. Oh, how fun! Ask me something. What do you want to know about Rising Tide or me? We haven't known each other that long.
How are you coming
along? Pretty good. Pretty good.
Work's been good for you. I mean, lead wise, busyness wise. I'm always asking customers how busy they are.
Good question.
Because I pay attention to the market as much as possible.
So it's tough for me. I might be the wrong one to ask, because I mean, I'm head down right now. So I've been in business for literally maybe 75 days now. So it's get the license, get the leads, get the crew, get the material, get the bank account, open all the things, right? I would say we're cranking. Actually, praise God, I'm very blessed. I'm very happy with the trajectory so far. Anxious to grow for sure.
Are you doing in-house crews or are you subbing?
1 and 1. So 1 in, 1 sub, only out of necessity. I will get to a spot where I'm probably 60-40 or 70-30 in-house. So I really do want to grow culture, grow employees. And that's another way I can control how well I take care of the boys. That's another kind of one of my mottos, going back to that happy employee, happy customer, happy owner. I want to live that out. And I think I can do that best with employees versus subs. But there's some great sub crews that they know what the heck they're doing. And there's no way they're going to be an employee. So yeah,
right. I know those guys are they enjoy that 1099 check.
I'm making exceptions for them, but I'm being very, very particular about who those guys are.
So you're loyal to your subs.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No,
that's a big thing. You don't find much on loyalty anymore.
I think it's back and forth. No, my sub crew at the last place I was at did almost every single one of my jobs, and I was the only one that was running my own stuff at the time. So I've been really loyal to him, and vice versa. It's funny. I didn't have work for him for 1 week. He's like, "It's okay. I'll go to Mexico for a while." I said, "That's great."
Some of those guys, yeah.
And he was like down with it. He's like, "I could use a breather," because those guys love to work. It's 6
It,
days a week. I just interviewed Daniel, who's my mason on my in-house crew, and he didn't even A, he doesn't like the camera. B, he didn't want to stop work to do a silly interview for social media. Almost was offended, but it was like, what do you like to do for fun? Work. Why do you work? So I can support my family. It was just like,
that's how it
what
goes.
I mean, we all do that, but I mean, he's a 6-dayer, but he's got a little bit bigger family too. So it's fun to see
That's
the work
good.
ethic though.
Older, I'm assuming.
Yeah. He's my age. I think we might be the same age actually. He's got fun story. He's got triplets.
Really?
It'd be crazy, I think, to I'd be mixing names up left and right. No, I couldn't be happier with my crews, honestly. And I've kind of got I've been good to guys, so it's paying back now. I've kind of got another guy who's like, I'm ready. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready. He's working for somebody else right now, but definitely have built good relationships.
One other thing I would want to tell you is warranty work. Always make sure, because everybody remembers warranty work. I've had, I don't know how many homeowners come to me about different, whoever they used. Yeah, this guy, I called him. I'm like, I have a problem with this and I can't get him out for 6 months. People pay attention to that kind of stuff. And that's where the word of mouth as well.
Oh, brother.
Back to.
Yeah.
I'm sure you haven't had to deal with warranty work. Obviously not yet.
Oh yeah, no, I did actually. It was minor. One of my guys missed a sprinkler head. We had to go back and pop it off, but we were back, Johnny on the spot.
That's one thing people will remember.
I'm going for it. So you might think I'm crazy. I have a 5-year workmanship guarantee, as opposed to the Arizona standard of 2. So 2.5 times the standard. And so I'm letting my guys know that, look, we're on the hook for a while. So go a little bit slower.
Have you talked to your subs about that though?
Yeah.
Are they good with that?
Yeah, it just takes a little bit of oversight, actually. Not going to lie. It's a little bit of oversight.
Because that would be the thing, because I mean, I know when I work 1099, if I'm going out to look at a job, I'm paying a trip fee, that kind of thing. That's what but these, I mean, if you're paying them.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to that loyalty point, right? If I've got the same guy and I've been feeding him work for a year and he's got to go repair his own work, he's okay with that.
I've had, I don't even know how many times I've come across homeowners like, yeah, do you know anybody else that can do this? Because this guy wouldn't come, I've called and he won't come back. That's why I have for me, my name is on the hook for a lot of stuff. So for me to put somebody else's name out there, as long as I don't get a call back, that's the same thing like Carlos from Azusa Pools. He did my interior. That guy, amazing. Never get a call back. So
love
that's
what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, no, that's the reason why I'll be referring you.
We need to meet Carlos. Yeah. I need a pool guy. We'll talk offset, but I want to partner with a pool guy. I'm not doing pools. I don't think I'll probably get into that.
I wouldn't do it right now.
So
not right now.
No,
because
it's crazy out there.
It's funny. No, it's funny. It's slowed down. Everybody's been, everybody's spending all their money on their houses right now. They're waiting to put their backyard. I mean, I'm still getting travertine to come through, but the pools is just.
They're 100. Well, I don't know. Every pool's different. I'm not going to start throwing numbers out there, but they're expensive.
Yeah, right now they are. If you want to cough that kind of money up.
The people I'm running into are people that are like, pool, backyard, backyard for 60 or pool for 120. We'll do the 60 and we'll wait, or we'll do a swim spa, or those are a lot of the clients that I'm seeing.
Well, that's what, like me and Randy Lynn, I've been doing my house in projects.
I love it. Phases?
Yeah. I did the inside before we moved in. We did the backyard. And then now I'm getting ready to start the front yard. You know what I mean? And we've been there for about a year. So
it's going to be awesome.
It's in phases.
Cool. Phase work is actually another good side note. It's a good way to maintain a healthy budget, So by breaking something up, clients that just hung up with, we kind of went for it. Here's the all in front, back, Taj Mahal. And they're like, what if we just didn't do the front? I'm like, it's a great idea. Let's just do it later, And so
breaking it down for them. Everybody's still trying to budget because obviously nobody knows what's going to go on right now. So Everybody is still watching what they have for money wise. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to dump out a bunch of money if things go sideways.
I
So
know everybody's always worried about that. It's funny. My yard sign. I was gonna say it's funny. I ran into an inspector out west, and his shirt said, "Making inspections great again." My yard side was gonna say, "Making backyards great again." I thought, okay, that's a little too far. And I'm honestly a little bit apolitical, meaning like, look, I've seen enough. I've had enough.
yeah,
Politicians are liars. I don't care.
right.
Convince me otherwise. You're a better man than me. But my sign says, this election season, vote for yourself. Let's redo your backyard. So,
Well, you see, it's the same thing. Like I get everybody that gives me hats, shirts, and everything like that. No
I
matter
got some
what,
gear for you too. Yes.
I always wear when I'm at work. I
Mhm.
always because I don't want to favor one person over the other
I
because I
totally
get
feel you.
people that get butthurt over it.
I got a good hat for home.
All right.
For home, Will, I've got a
Oh,
good hat for
I'll
you.
use it for Texas as well.
Oh yeah, there we go. That'd be fun. I sent a care package back to my buddies in Oregon, and it was fun. We used to do kitchens and baths and roofs, and so one of my buddies was up on the roof flexing in my shirt in Oregon.
Awesome.
That's cool. That's fun to see. That's been fun actually. To kind of.
You like the backyards or inside better?
I love the inside. I mean, I love the backyards better. Sorry. Inside was cool and it was neat to see the transformation. But the truth of it is this is a little more low key vibe in terms of like we're still going for it and like we're getting it done, but like if we leave a wheelbarrow in the backyard, that's generally okay. Inside is a whole different ballpark. They're in there watching TV and they look over and they see, a paintbrush. It's like all hell breaks loose. Or you're not done with, some part didn't come in, and so you're not done with that refrigerator for that Thanksgiving party. Like it's a whole different ball game as opposed to outside. Generally, not that we, ever want to be late or anything, but like, okay, this paver's on back order 2 weeks. Okay. Generally, right? Unless you have predetermined timelines, there's just a little bit more of a lax vibe outside than inside. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, honestly, is because I couldn't sleep on Sunday nights because I had so many jobs and so many fires to put out Monday mornings.
I used to love the outsides because, especially when I started with a blank canvas,
my favorite.
You start with nothing and then you make it a resort.
My favorite.
That's always the joys. That's one of the things. I just got tired coming home from work, and it's like making fireplaces, doing this and that. They're like, I'm going to make you a crew leader. You can do, but we love your work. Can you please keep doing it? Like you feel like an 80-year-old man afterwards.
Oh man, so many masons I see just kind of hobble around, and it's hard work, and it's another reason why I don't want the guys to get forgotten.
Yeah.
Especially in a day and age where, somebody like Micro would tell you, look, these people just aren't getting made anymore. We're running out of the people that love to work for work's sake.
It's going to be scary in 10 years.
Well, my nephew is opening up, actually, I think he bought one and he's opening up another electrical company. He's going to kill it because all the trades, I think, are going to go through the roof. I think any skilled labor is going to just
that's going to be where I think that's where the money's going to be at. It's going to be.
I think so.
Because, I mean, it's in such demand. I mean, who else are you going to get to do it? You're not going to, you can't get a robot to lay block.
Not yet. Not yet.
I know, not
3D
yet.
printed concrete houses are coming. No, I agree. It's going to be a while. No robots are running wire. Oh man, this is going to play well in 10 years, huh? You watch. It's going to be a weird episode. No, I don't think robots are running wire, plumbing houses, cutting
soldering
turf,
copper,
soldering copper, because of all the moving parts and the physicality of it and the precision and just the way humans are built is to craft, create, and to work, in my opinion, I think it's going to be fun to see what happens, but I think we're in the right trade to grow in terms of
we are because everybody wants to everybody wants to do something to their house. Everybody's hanging out. Everybody's having barbecues. Everybody's hanging out in the pool. It's the backyard is your entertainment center. I mean, besides your kitchen,
Yeah.
obviously, but
Mm-hmm. Doing a lot of outdoor kitchens. Man, them are
are you?
popular.
I used to
Yes.
love doing the fireplaces.
Yeah.
I used to, because I would just do them on my own,
Mm-hmm.
just sitting there doing layer by layer, layer by layer.
That's
I used
fantastic.
to love doing that stuff. I did. I didn't like how I felt at the end of the day,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
fair.
loved how it looked.
No, I think that's one of the things I'm most excited about, honestly, is building the teams. Like, I do love meeting with customers and I love my crews. And I think that's why I want more of them. Like, I think one of the things I enjoy most is the team building aspect. Okay, I've got a mason. All right, let's get a turf guy. Okay, an irrigation guy. Okay, here's my paver guy. You know what I mean? And then getting them to jive well and stuff. It's fun.
Right.
That's fun. Okay, so closing thoughts. Where do we want to go here for the last 5 minutes? Any thoughts or any plugs you want to put out there for Universal?
I don't.
You've done a
I mean,
great job so far, by the way. I'm buying more from you.
It's just everybody. I mean, anybody that listens to this. I mean, everybody has to pay attention to the quality of what they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and I can't preach this enough. You get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
You get what you pay for, and that's when we go back to like even the warranty work. You get
Mm-hmm.
this guy that's fly by night. It's the same thing I've heard in Texas. You don't have to be a registered contractor over there.
Hmm.
So those guys can be just come in. Oh yeah, I can do this for you. Do a little bit, and then they're gone. Take your money, and they're absolutely gone.
Ouch.
There's no accountability, and that's the biggest thing. Is I wish that everybody would don't just watch the bottom dollar. Talk to the person and pay attention to the quality.
Yeah, my goal is to just have a fat bank account so I can take care of any issues just right now. And just get there, get it done. Not at all costs, but like legitimately quickly. It's funny, you would go down this line for your last line. I had a guy sign with me tonight, and I think I might have brought this up on my last episode that I was hopeful to do this. And so this will be on my Instagram, but we're going to film some befores and stuff, and then we'll film after. But he's one of the unlucky ones that had a guy come through, really trusted him and was like all about it, started his project in February of last year.
What?
And is now getting to call me because it's just drug on and on and on and on. Guy ran out of money, out of business, on to the next, And I've just heard a couple pool companies, a couple other companies that are in
There's a lot of people that have
no names, but
a lot of people are robbing Peter to pay Paul. So I need to take this job so I can finish this one. Everybody has to account. I mean, you got to make sure that your guys are taken care of first, obviously.
Yep.
And then you just go from there. I come across a lot of small guys that are like, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, you're taking this money off the top.
I was just going to say, I've barely had a paycheck. I'm like going, okay, I get
and
this.
I'm sure you're going to be, that's going to be the struggle for you for a little while. But I mean, it's
okay. I'm in.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's
I
part of
support what you're saying.
That's the way that it goes. Is you have to suck that up. Like you're not going on vacation. You're not getting that new truck.
Honey.
You're not doing. You know what I mean?
Sorry, honey.
Babe, I'm looking for this in the long run.
I am looking at the long game.
That's the whole thing. And everybody, you can't be thinking it's the same. Like I told everybody when COVID hit, like the plaster guys were knocking out 3 to 4 jobs a day. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, put money away. This is not going to last forever. It's going to slow down. There's no way the economy could sustain this. Oh no, we're going to be, and it lasted for a little while. But dude, I'm putting money, and that's what you have to account for everything.
It was a weird animal. The remodel game, I was in Oregon at the time. People were bending over backwards to give you more money than your bid to just get there.
Just get it done.
Just get there, and so now it was weird.
It's not the same.
No, it's not.
And I believe that everybody should be picking and choosing, but you get what you pay for. That's what everybody has to remember.
Yeah.
You may not be the cheapest, but hey, my quality of work is good. If you have a problem, I'm coming back to you. If you call me, I'm answering the phone. You text me, I'm answering your text message.
Check,
You know,
and
email,
check.
whatever the case may be. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's the biggest thing is everybody has to understand that it may be cheap, but you're getting cheap quality. You're getting
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's hard to convey to people.
It is. I know.
It just is, when Nolan was on, that was one of my big challenges is like, it's like, wait, so you want me to do what that nobody else is doing and be the,
He's with Belgard, right?
uh-huh.
I need to meet with him because I wish they would sell me pavers.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Well, I'm not sure. I can't speak for them, but I will put in a great word for you. Yeah. No, your operation is top shelf out there. I think that anybody that does make their way out there is going to see that Will specifically, and I know Randy and Universal are out there to raise the grade for everybody.
Customer service all around.
I was blown away. Randy brought samples to my customer like a year ago and sold them for me. I'm like, what?
No,
nobody does that.
That's what we offer.
I'm like,
she
awesome.
She asked me, "Are you good with me going?" I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." Yeah, no, that's what we offer. I mean, that's why I tell you, like,
I didn't mean to just like make. She's not doing that for everybody every time. I'm sure.
Oh no!
Holy cow! I was blown away.
Idea. No,
I was blown away
all the time. It's the same thing I told you before. Like if you messed up and you ordered the wrong tile, okay, I got you. She's gonna load you up. We'll get it squared away.
Yeah, it was top shelf. I was extremely stoked.
Customer service.
Okay, closing thoughts here. What do you see happening in? Do you think there's going to be any weeding out of maybe? I've actually started to see a little bit of this. So I'm kind of curious. Do you think there's going to be any weeding out of some of the smaller guys or like?
It's already happening.
I know in my guest next week, I'll probably hit him hard with this, but works for a little bit bigger company that bought out a bunch of other little companies around here. And do you see that happening in the landscaping world? Like people kind of like the big boys getting bigger and the small guys kind of getting pushed out.
It's happening in every part.
Okay.
It's not just landscaping, buddy.
Fair, very fair.
It's happening with.
What do you think it takes to be, the big fish that keeps kind of growing and isn't gobbled up?
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
You got a deal. I love it.
That's the best thing I can tell you because just keep doing what you're doing. Just continue to grow. You're gonna have people come at you. You're gonna have people come at you.
Mm-hmm.
Just continue to do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. Head down mentality. I like it. Well, I'm all about it. Thanks for coming on. Thank you guys for joining us on Raise the Grade.